And now in this lecture we will find the values of x and y. As you can see in the drawing, we have a shape. The area of this shape equals to 240 units squared, and the width of the shape is 15 units, and the length of this shape is 20 units, and we want to find out the value of x and y. Actually, the length is this, and it equals to 20 units, and the width of the shape is 15 units. And we want to find out the value of x and y. Okay, so first of all, we will complete the shape to a rectangle. Actually, we will continue the line segment x until it until the shape will be like a rectangle. Okay, so we continue to line segment x, and actually now this line is actually equals to 20 units, and we will draw a line or line segment that is parallel to the line segment of 15 units. So this line segment will be equal to 15 units, and actually this line segment will be 20 units minus x. Okay, 20 units minus x. This will be A, this point. The vertex of the rectangle will be A. This vertex will be B, will be defined as B. This vertex of the rectangle will be C, and this vertex of this rectangle will be D. Actually, in the first step, we created from the shape that was given to us, and we know that the shape equals to 240 units squared. We completed it to a rectangle, and side BC of the rectangle equals to 15 units, and all the angles in a rectangle equals to 90 units. So actually this angle is 90 degrees, and this angle is also 90 degrees. Okay, all the angles in a rectangle equals to 90 degrees. Actually, this point will be defined as E. Actually, side AB of the green right triangle side EB of the green right triangle equals to 20 units minus x. Okay, this length is 20 units. 20 units minus x equals to the size of EB, that is to say the size of EB is 20 units minus x. Okay, and the side BC of the green right triangle equals to 15 units, and actually side EC equals to y. Okay, so actually we know that the area of any rectangle equals to the length of the rectangle times the width. So the area of rectangle ABCD, the area of rectangle ABCD will be equal to the length of the rectangle times the width. Okay, so actually the formula for the area of any rectangle is actually the length of the rectangle times the width. So the area of our rectangle ABCD will be equal to the length of the rectangle, that is 20 units, times the width of the rectangle, that is 15 units, and 20 times 15 is 300 units squared. 300 units squared. Okay, so the area of the rectangle ABCD equals to 300 units squared. Okay, the area of rectangle ABCD equals to 300 units squared. Okay, so the area of the green right triangle will be equal to the area of the rectangle minus the area of the shape of this shape, that is 240 units squared. Okay, so the area of the green right triangle EBC equals to the area of the rectangle, that is 300 units squared minus the area of this shape, that is 240 units. 300 minus 240 equals to 60 units squared. Okay, so the area of the green right triangle ABCD, triangle EBC equals to 60 units squared. Okay, so the area of the right green triangle EBC equals to the area of the triangle minus the area of this shape, that is 300 units minus 240 units, that equals to 60 units squared. So the area of the green right triangle equals to 60 units squared. And the formula for the area of any triangle equals to the base of the triangle times the height to the base over 2. That is the area of any triangle and also the area of triangle ABC. Okay, again, the formula for the area of any triangle equals to the base of the triangle times the height to the base over 2. Okay, so according to this formula, we can say that the area of the green triangle equals to the base of the triangle, that is 20 minus x, times the height to the base. The height to the base is 15 units over 2, and the area of the green triangle equals to the area of the rectangle minus the area this area, so it is 300 minus 240, it is 60 units squared. The area of the triangle, as I already mentioned, is 60 units squared. Okay, the area of the right green triangle equals to 60 units squared. Okay, so we will multiply by 2 equation number 1. We get that 20 minus x times 15 equals to 120 units squared. Okay, 2 times 60 is 120, so and here we have 220 minus x times 15. We will open the brackets in equation number 1. So we opened the brackets in equation number 1. 20 times 15 is 300, and x times 15 is 15x. Now we'll subtract 120 from equation number 1. We subtracted 120 from equation number 1. 300 minus 15x or 300 minus 120 is 180. So in this side of the equation we have 180 minus 15x and 120 minus 120 equals to x. Now we will add 15x to the equation number 1. So 0 plus 15x equals to 15x, and and 80 minus 15x plus 15x equals to 180. So we got that 180 equals to 15x. We'll divide equation number 1 by 15. So 120 over 15 equals to 12. So we got that x equals to 12 units. Okay. So now I will draw again the right triangle ABC. Actually, side BC of the right green triangle equals to 15 units. Side EB equals to 20 minus x, and x equals to 12 units. So 20 minus 12 equals to 8. Okay, so actually this is our right triangle EBC. Side EB equals to 8 units, side BC equals to 15 units, and the only missing variable is y. This side is y. We will use the Pythagorean theorem in order to find out the value of y, and the Pythagorean theorem states that the square of the hypotenuse equals to the sum of the squares of the perpendiculars. That is to say, the square of the hypotenuse is y squared equals to the sum of the squares of the perpendiculars equals to 8 squared plus 15 squared. Okay, so we created equation number 2 by implementing the Pythagorean theorem in the right triangle EBC. The square of the hypotenuse is y squared equals to the sum of the squares of the perpendiculars equals to 8 squared plus 15 squared. Okay, 8 squared plus 15 squared. 8 squared is 64 and 15 squared is 225. So we got that y squared equals to 8 squared is 64 and 15 squared is 225. 64 plus 225 is 289. So I will write it down. Okay, 64 plus 225 is 289. Now we will take a root out of equation number 2. We will get that y equals to 17 units. So the square root of 289 is 17, so y equals to 17 units, and we have already found that x equals to 12 units. So actually the answer to the question is that the value of x is 12 units and the value of y is 17 units. Again, the value of x is 12 units and the value of y is 17 units. Now I will summarize the lecture. Actually, we wanted to find out the value of x and y. We had this shape. We know that the area of this shape, the shape in the white color, equals to 240 units squared, and we know that side DC of the white shape is 20 units, side AD of the white shape is 15 units, and we want to find out the value of x, that is actually side AE, and the value of y, that is actually side EC of this shape. In order to find out the value of x and y, we actually completed the shape that was given to us. We completed the shape to a shape of a rectangle. We created from the shape that was given to us a rectangle. So actually ABCD is a rectangle that we created from the shape that was given to us. We actually continued the side AE until point B, and then we draw a straight line between points B and C and created the rectangle ABCD. And we actually know that the area of any rectangle equals to the length of the rectangle times the width of the rectangle. So the area of the green right triangle, first of all, we know that the triangle ABC is a right triangle because of the fact that all the angles in a rectangle equals to 90 degrees. So also angle EBC equals to 90 degrees. For that reason, triangle EBC is a right triangle. Okay, so actually the area of the right triangle is very simple to see. What is the area of the right triangle? The area of the right triangle is the area of the rectangle minus the area of the white shape. Okay, the area of the rectangle minus the area of the white shape equals to the area of the green triangle. The area of the rectangle is its length times its width, and its length is 20 units and its width is 15 units. So the area of the rectangle ABCD equals to 300 units squared, and the area of the white shape is given to us. It equals to 240 units squared. Okay, so the area of the rectangle minus the area of the white shape equals to the area of the rectangle minus the area of the white shape will be equal to the area of the right green triangle. And the area of the rectangle is 300 units because it is 15 times 20 is 15 units squared, minus the area of the white shape is 240 units squared. So 300 minus 240 equals to 60 units squared. So we know that the area of the green right triangle equals to 60 units squared. Okay, and actually we know also that side BC of the right green triangle equals to 15 units because of the fact that the parallel sides in any triangle are equal to each other. So we know that this side is 15 units, and so this the parallel side also will be equal to 15 units, and the side AB of the green right triangle will be equal to the length of the rectangle minus x. The length of the rectangle minus x is the length of EB, that is the side of the right triangle. So the length of the rectangle is 20 units, and this length is x. So 20 units minus x equals to the size of AB. Okay, 20 units minus x equals to the size of EB. So we actually know that the size of EB, the side EB of the right green triangle equals to 20 minus x. Side BC equals to 15 units, and EB, that is the hypotenuse of the green right triangle, equals to y. So actually, and we also know that the area of the right green triangle equals to 60 units squared. That is the area of the triangle minus the area of the white shape. The area of the triangle is 300 units squared, minus the area of the white shape is 240 units squared. So 300 minus 240 equals to 60 units squared. That is the area of the right green triangle. Okay, so we can write down our first equation that states that the base of the triangle times the height to the base over 2 is the area of the right green triangle, and it equals to 60 units squared. Okay, so the base of the triangle is 20 minus x times the height of the triangle is 15 units over 2. It equals to the area of the right green triangle, and we have already know that the area of the right green triangle equals to 60 units squared. Okay, so we can write that the area equals to 60 units squared. Okay, so we have only one variable, that is x. X is only variable in this first equation. So we multiply the equation number 1 by 2. We got that 20 minus x times 15 equals to 120. And 20 times 15 equals to 300. And x times 15 equals to 15x. So minus x times 15 equals to minus 15x. And all equals to 180. We subtracted 180 from equation number 1. We got that 300 minus 180, 300 minus 120. We subtracted 120 from equation number 1. We got that 300 minus 120 equals to 180. So in this side of the equation we have 180 minus 15x, and 180 minus 180 equals to 0. So we got that 180 minus 15x equals to 0. We added 15x to equation number 1, and we got that 180 equals to 15x. We divided equation number 1 by 15, and we got that x equals to 12 units. Okay, so x equals to 12 units. Okay, and then we actually so if x equals to 12 units, then EB equals to 20 minus x is 20 minus 12 is 8. So side EF of the right triangle equals to 8 units. Side BC equals to 15 units. And y is the only variable that is missing. We can use here the Pythagorean theorem in order to find out the value of y. The Pythagorean theorem states that the square of the hypotenuse equals to the sum of the squares of the perpendiculars. So the square of the hypotenuse is y squared. Y squared equals to the sum of the squares of the perpendiculars equals to 15 square plus 8 square. Okay, so according to the Pythagorean theorem that applies only on right triangles, y squared equals to 8 square plus 15 square. And 8 square is 64 and 15 square is 225. And so we got that y squared equals to 64 plus 225. And 64 plus 225 equals to 289. So we got that y squared equals to 289. We take a root out of equation number 2, and we got that y equals to 17 units, and we already found out that x equals to 12 units. So the answer to the question, to find out the values of x and y, the value of x is 12 units and the value of y is 17 units. Okay, thank you very much.